Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapbookingWithMe.com and Me Crafty Scrapper here on YouTube and Instagram, and Me Crafty Scrapper Creates over on Facebook. Today I wanted to show y'all a really easy way to get that handmade ephemera look that you're looking for your junk journals without having to pay too much to get that accomplished. I have many new people to my channel, and I thank you so much and welcome. Thank you for being here. And they have lots of questions about, hey, I'm new, I don't have the supplies that you use sometimes. How do I get started? How do I do this? How do I do that? And those are all legitimate questions, and I'm glad that you come to me and ask them. I will be happy to help you in any way I can. I have posted a new or an easy or a beginner as far as journal, soft cover journal. I have posted a video about that, and I will link that in the description box below. But today I wanted to go over the easiest and most inexpensive way to create dazzling looking ephemera without too much effort and without hardly any cost. Promise you. Okay, so you see people using digitals. If you don't like using digitals, no worries. I'm going to show you a way to do this without a digital too. But you've seen people use digitals and you think, well, I can't afford them either. Well, there are certain one-sheet wonders, that's what they're called in digital kit world, that people have on their Etsy shops. And I only get my digitals from Etsy or from Buy Me a Coffee. Some of our people that are on YouTube world have Buy Me a Coffee websites, and they all have free digitals on their Buy Me a Coffee websites. Even some of these bigger YouTubers that have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers have free digitals on their Buy Me a Coffee website. This digital that we're looking at right now comes from Miss Jennifer at Graphics Candy on Etsy, but now she has rebranded and her shop is called, let me pull it up here, Dark Manor Designs, like manor as in mansion, Manor Design. So DarkManordEsign. And I love her vintagey kind of designs that she has in her shop. None of it's going to be that cutesy modern stuff that we don't go for right now. Maybe cutesy and modern will come back. But I've never really been into a cutesy kind of design world. Even when I was with a certain stamp company and they wanted me to be in a cutesy modern design frame of mind, I just wasn't. So I really love Jennifer's designs, and she has this one listing, and she's probably got more than just this one also, but it is called, let me get back to it, I had to go all the way back up to make sure that I got the name right, and now I've got to go back and find this one. This one is called the Essential Ephemera Kit. Essential Ephemera Kit. So it's a one-sheet wonder. So this is what you get: 2 library cards, a bingo sheet, sorry, pointing with the wrong finger, a ticket, a double-sided card, so it's got space there where you can cut them out separately, and then a guest ticket, and I love that guest ticket. So this is a one-sheet wonder, and right now she has a 20% off sale going on, and I'm sure it's for Labor Day, but even at full price it's not expensive at all. But right now she has this for $1.59. So for $1.59 you get this, and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces that you can print over and over and over again and use over and over and over again in your junk journals. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to create ephemera. I mean, this is ephemera as is, but if you want to dress it up a little bit, I'm going to show you 2 more steps to do on top of these, and you've got jazzy looking ephemera pieces. Now, I printed these on, this is that premium cardstock, so it's 32 pound, or not cardstock, premium copy paper, so it's 32 pound, or I printed it on some lightweight, and I printed that one wrong. I printed it on some lightweight, kind of like a very creamy craft cardstock, but it is very, very lightweight. That feels like it might be, oh, I don't know, maybe 60 pound, something like that. It's not heavy at all. So I printed it both ways. So this one will have a white background and we can cover it up with some stained copy paper if we want to. This one already has a creamy beigey craft background, so we wouldn't have to do anything to that if we didn't want to. So I'm cutting these out by hand. You can, if you have a trimmer, paper trimmer, you can use that. But I am cutting these out and doing this the way that if I didn't have all the supplies that I do have, being a crafter co-owner, crafty business co-owner, if I wasn't that and I was just starting out, I am making this like anybody else would that's just starting out. I can't really do 2 things at once. Y'all know me. I'm cutting and trying to think of what I'm going to say next. So what I'm going to do is hand cut all of this out. I'm going to cut this sheet out. I'm going to cut that sheet out. And then I have, these are from a little paper pad that I had left over from a kit. And this was the cut aparts in that paper pad. Okay. So if you have some cut aparts that you think, oh, I'm never going to use that, let's dress them up and we'll use them and make them into something totally different. Okay, so if you don't have digitals, if you've got just some cut aparts in a paper collection of some kind, these little butterflies that I'm going to be using today are free digitals from Miss Betty and Renfro, and we have these butterflies and birds listed on our blog, and I will get to that blog post and I will get that linked in the description box below. I will also link Jennifer's essential ephemera kit, this one sheet wonder. I will list that in the description box below. And now I'm going to get to cutting. Here they are all cut out. So this is the one that was cut out or printed on the 32 pound premium copy paper. And these are the ones that are printed out on that light craft cardstock. Now look at the difference. It's the exact same one sheet wonder from Miss Jennifer, but they look different. And just according to what kind of junk journal you're making, I say is how you want them printed off. This would go more into like a shabby chic kind of junk journal that doesn't have a lot of inking on it. This one would go into more vintage grungy junk journal. Okay, so that would be how I discern how I'm going to print off my digital. Okay, now what I would do, I have these little strips that I have just pulled off the edges of book pages, old vintage book pages. Now you can get, if you don't have them already, if you're a total newcomer to junk journaling and don't have any supplies, I want to let you know you can get old books that are going to be discarded by your local library for little to nothing. I live in a tiny, tiny, tiny little town, and even our little bitty library has an upstairs in it where they have their discounted or free books. And if people don't come by and get those books, they will eventually go on a destroy list. And the library will just eventually get rid of them or burn them or whatever. I would rather a discarded book that's not in use anymore and that is free at a library. I would rather that book be used in a junk journal than destroyed, wouldn't you? So check out your local library, call them, ask them if they have discounted or free books that they're about to discard, and let them know I want to get them. I would love them. So, make sure to make those calls and check out any kind of free anything you can get, because free is great, right? So with these, I'm going to show you how I'm going to add this to our ephemera pieces we make. So I have my digital, my one sheet wonder I printed out. I have these free butterfly images that I just fussy cut out before I started the video, and then I have these offcuts just of the edge. Let me show you. Just of the edge, woo, I drop everything, of the book page. So this piece right here, and all I did, you don't have to have these tear guides. We do offer them at scrapbookingwithme.com, but you don't have to have these. And all I did before I used the actual book page in a journal or whatever, I just trimmed off the edge. And that's how I got all of these, okay? And I keep these to either stamp on, hand letter on. I'll just write in my own handwriting on ephemera if I want to, or stamp little, like numbers or something like that, like I did here on these. I have a whole video about making your own little number labels and word labels, if I'm not mistaken. I will link those in the description box below also. So you could just cut those off. You don't have, like I said, you don't have to have that ruler. Okay, so let's start with this library card and pick out one of our butterflies. Okay, and then this discarded book that I just pulled off the edge of the page, I'm going to get it and I'm going to stamp on it. Now I have this collection here from Creative Expressions, and it's got a few little word phrases in it. We try to keep stamp sets in the shop that have, small little word phrases, maybe nothing that would go along with cards or something, because we find that we keep those in the shop way too much. But these that have some words in it that could easily go into a junk journal, we like to keep those in stock. Now, if you don't have a block, you don't have to have that. You can easily stamp this without a block. Let's say you don't have a blender tool, or you don't have some of the bigger ink pads. Maybe someone has gifted you a little mini ink pad. You don't have to have anything more than that. So this is the Gathered Twigs mini ink pad, and I have ink pads in my stash from 15, 18 years ago. I still keep all of my ink pads, and you can use whatever you have. You don't have to have the newest, latest, and greatest. Now, I co-own a craft shop with my mother, and we would love for you to buy all of the latest, newest, and greatest, but we know that everybody can't do that, so no problem. So in this itty bitty little ink pad, I just pressed my stamp down in it, and I made myself my own word label from that edge of the book page. Okay, You don't even have to have ink if you already have, because I know somebody's going to say, wait a minute, that's more than 3 steps. If you don't have inks or you don't have stamps, no worries. If you've got some kind of word phrases from Tim Holtz maybe in your stash that's old, been there for a while, or you can get one sheet wonders from digital Etsy shops that have sheets of words on them, like this from Digital Hobby Helper. I think this probably was like 99 cents, and I got maybe 2 or 3 sheets of this, and it's already got the words and stuff on it. You just clip them out and put them on. That's going to be our 3 steps. A background of some kind, and these Essential Ephemera kit, this one sheet wonder from Jennifer, is wonderful as a background for ephemera. So you have 1, your background, 2, a smaller little focal point, and then 3, a little piece to go along with it. And that's all you need to make beautiful ephemera. I've had many say, I could never collage like you do. My collage never comes out like yours does. That's wonderful. It's not supposed to look like mine. You are your own person. You give yourself grace to have your creation look different from somebody else's. You are fulfilling your wants in a junk journal. Don't worry about what everybody else does. Okay? So with this, what I would do is ink around the edges. Usually what I would do is I would get my blender with my walnut stain ink that I got from scrapbookingwithme.com, and I would tap, 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 and I would ink around that. If you just have one little ink pad at home, maybe, that's all you need. Don't worry about getting all the latest and greatest. Don't get overwhelmed. Just use that little mini ink pad and go around the edges just to give your little project something. See how much easier that is seen on that tan background when you ink around the edges of it. I'm going to do the same thing with my butterfly, and then with my background too. So you need a background, you need a focal point, and then one little something else to go with it, which is my word phrase here. And look, it's not even ripped correctly. I didn't use a trimmer or anything. I just tore that with my hands. So very, very easy, very inexpensive way to make your own handmade ephemera to go in your junk journals. So I'm just going to ink all the edges with just my Gathered Twigs little mini ink pad. Okay, and then of course I don't count adhesive as a step, because everybody that is making paper crafts should have some type of adhesive. You don't have to have the same adhesive that I have to make the things that I put on my videos. Okay, so I'm just going to make that focal point off to one side, because I like doing that. I like having it off like that. And then this little book page cut off, I'm going to put it really close. Now if we put it way down here, it kind of looks disjointed. Okay, so I'm going to put it closer to my butterfly, and I have lines on this background, so that's helping me out a lot. So I'm going to get it close to the butterfly and lined up like I want it. So now I have beautiful ephemera to add to my junk journals. I didn't need fabric, I didn't need lace, I didn't need cheesecloth, I didn't need more paper to go back behind it. This actually can be a place for journaling in your junk journal. You don't have to fill up the whole piece. You don't have to put all kinds of collage on it. Just make it yours. And I hope that this little 3-step thing will help some of our new people to get in there and really decorate and get your journal done like you want it. I'm going to get this guest check next, and this is on that light craft cardstock. Now on this one, it is white on the back, so you could use that ink pad to go all over the back of it to change that up if you don't want white in your junk journal. Or you could, if you have some dyed paper, you could just place that dyed paper on the back here. Just use your use your glue and glue that colored copy paper onto the back of that. So this guest check, let's do the same thing. Now if you don't like butterflies, we've got birds, we've got all kinds of stuff. You don't have to use butterflies. Of course, I love butterflies, and why anybody would not like a butterfly, I don't know. But to each their own. But I love me some butterflies. So I'm just going to put that on my stamp block, and I'm going to ink it. Making ephemera does not have to be difficult. These 3 steps can be used all the time, and you don't have to have all the latest and greatest, and you don't have to collage if you don't want to. So collector of beautiful things, and I'm just going to tear it on this side, and then I'm going to tear it on this side because this side wasn't torn at all. Okay. Collector of beautiful things, and I'm going to ink the edges just like that, and just barely do it. I hadn't inked like this in a long time, so I'm having to get the hang of it too. Barely ink the edges like that. I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges of this. If you want to round the corners, you can. If you don't have the punch, no worries. Use your scissors and do your own rounded corners. I'm just going to go down the edge of all the sides of this guest check. Okay. And then figure out what butterfly I want to go on here. And I think this focal point is nice because it gives a contrast. It's white and brown. Yeah, white and brown butterfly. So it's a nice contrast to this darker craft background. So I'm just going to barely ink the edges of my butterfly. Okay, and then give it a nice bit of glue on the back here. And then set it off. I'll go this way on this one. Set it off to the side like this. If you get too much glue, don't worry about it because you can go back and just dab with your rag that you have set aside just for crafting. And then my little word label that I created myself too. Didn't even have to get anything from a Tim Holtz ephemera pack. And then you can make it, you know, wobbledy like that, or you can put it straight on like that. However you would like. And see, easy 3-step ephemera. Y'all like this? Okay, same thing with these library pockets that library cards that I cut out from the cut-aparts of that one collection I had. It was just one sheet in my scrap pile, and I just went ahead and cut them apart, and I thought I can use these with something. And I surely can. I can use these with my nice little free butterflies that I got from Betty Renfro. I love this one. Let's do one where they're not hanging off the side. Let's do it right in the middle. We can hand letter up here if we wanted to. We could do, here's another way to do these. Just setting it up in a different way. I'm going to get that observations back. Ink it up. And then leave myself enough room to tear on both sides. Okay. And then tear that side tear that side, and then I'm going to ink all around the edges. Okay, and on this one, let's ink the edges of it. If you don't like the look of inked edges, don't worry about it. You don't even need this step. Just use a cheap, or an inexpensive, I should say, inexpensive digital one sheet wonder from an Etsy shop, just for your word phrases. And you can, like I said, print those out as many times as you want and use them over and over in your journals. And you don't even have to have the ink. You don't have to have a stamp. Okay, so this one, I want to put observations up here, and I want to put my butterfly in the center here. And then anything else I wanted to add to this, I could, but these pieces of ephemera are fine as is. No need to add anything else to them. Don't let anybody pressure you into thinking that you have to doll up everything that you put in your paper crafting. You do you. Don't worry about everybody else. Okay, so observations there at the top, and then my butterfly there, so it kind of looks like a little specimen card. I love that. Just as is, and ready to go in my journals, whether it be into a pocket in my journal or just glue down on two sides here and use it as a tuck on the page, or you can glue down the three sides, put it down, and have a pocket in the top. However you want to use these, I think they're beautiful as is. So get you some backgrounds. Like I said, I will have all of these steps in the description box below, along with links, so you can find this one sheet wonder printable from Miss Jennifer at Dark Manor Design. I will have the link to these butterflies and the birds so that you can print those out and fussy cut them. And even if you don't have a printer at home, you can go to Office Depot, Office Max, Staples, all kinds of places like that, and they will print these out for little to nothing. Okay, and then let's see, I'll try to find some stamps maybe that we have in the shop. If you were to want to get stamps, I'll find some of those and leave you links to those in the description box below. To our ink pads and to our Tim Holtz word labels and stuff, I'll leave you links to that in the shop. But like I said, you don't have to buy any of that, but I'll leave you links to it anyway. And then I will leave you links to Digital Hobby Helper, where she has those one sheet wonder word phrases for little to nothing. I'll leave you those links also. And I hope this has helped you out, and I hope this has answered a few questions. I'm going to do a few more of these, give you some still shots at the end. Y'all have a great day. Love ya. Y'all are my people. God bless. Bye, y'all.